to dock your pay.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's all right. You make it okay?
All is well, Paul.
Mayor of the big city of Clarksdale. First of all,
yes, sir.
Give me a weather.
Good to see you,
Good
man.
to see you. Give me a weather report.
Well, over the entire Delta, man, it is difficult right now.
Mm-hmm.
Clarksdale is not hit as hard, but we are having some massive floodings that are happening in our area. But our team, they're out this morning, and as soon as we finish up, I'm headed right back. We have pumps out, but no flooding in anyone's home. What concerns me is that if you go over from Oxford to Panola County,
in Batesville,
that's right. You come back over to Quitman County, to Tallahatchie County. There's some massive problems in the North Delta.
You know what's so weird about this one too, and as I mentioned a little bit earlier, it's come from the north, come from the south. It's just been moving in different directions. It's not like one front, not even stationary. It seems. But what is weird about it, it's hit the same areas. It's bypassed you guys, and it seems to get real heavy by the time it gets to Batesville and the Oxford area.
But the larger issue for Clarksdalians is the psychological effect. We've gone through this twice within the last 10 years, and so you have a lot of homeowners that are in fear right now, and it's our job, with Public Works, the police department, the fire department. We're reassuring our residents that we're ready, we're on standby, and if we have to evacuate, we will. But remember, the water has not hit a home just yet.
That's good.
So
it has in some of these other places.
That's right. We're very prayerful and we're thankful for what we have right now, but we're praying for other people in the Delta.
The crops, and I know you're not in agriculture,
right,
but they've got to be getting some major problems as far as replanting in some of that area.
Yeah, as I was driving in, it was very interesting to see. But, Paul, we're resilient in the Delta. We'll rebound and we build and we come back faster, stronger. And we know how to make sure we're on point. We can do it. So rain, sleet, snow, whatever comes our way, we're going to be just fine.
Oh, I just saw the bumper here. It is we do have some weird things going on here. So.
Smooth and fast, huh?
We'll take a deep breath.
Okay.
Refill the coffee. We will refill the mugs here and reset the video and all of that stuff. And back, hopefully, to a normal segment. The Trustmark Studios of the Gallo Show, all over the place. Banking, wealth management, risk management solutions for over 130 years. Learn more. Go to trustmark.com. The mayor of Clarksdale, by the way, continuing as mayor because I understand it came out pretty good for you.
Yes, sir.
What again?
Voters.
This is what? Up. This is
my second term as mayor of the city.
Second term as mayor. State, let's see, in the legislature for how many terms?
Yes, sir.
2 terms?
Four terms.
Four terms?
4 terms. You know how they say, man, I never thought that it would turn into that length of time. That was unbelievable, man. Well, at the Capitol. I never thought that.
So what was it, 60-40, I think?
Yeah, the victory, as funny as it panned out with the numbers, last election I won by 60% or 59.8%. And then this election was 60%. Mm-hmm. So it seems like there's a baseline, there's a baseline of a supporter, of an Espy supporter that kind of stays at this consistent number of 60%. So I'm really thankful for the people of Clarksdale putting me back in office. But, Paul, let me share something with you real quick. The interesting part about that election, or I believe why we've had so much success in Clarksdale, is something that doesn't just go back to my leadership skills or anything. Before I became mayor, there was a acting standing policy. Before meetings, they would just have this moment of silence, okay? And, I'm from the House of Representatives. Speaker Gunn, we're very formal in everything that we do. And, in the House, we would start every single meeting with a prayer. And I just couldn't believe that we were not openly praying in the city of Clarksdale. So I put some thought to it 4 years ago, and I just said that, God, if you allow me to be mayor of this city, I will openly every single meeting, speak your name, and I will openly say it out of my mouth every single meeting, so God would bless everything that we're doing in Clarksdale. And ever since then, Paul, jobs are up, quality of life is happening, and believe it, this is the best thing.
What is
crime is down.
The crime rate is
down. We're at a historic low in the city of Clarksdale.
By who rated that?
Well, we had this rating that would come out, be like it would seem every year the top 10 worst cities in Mississippi for crime. We're not even on that list anymore.
That's good news.
We're not even there anymore. So it's beautiful, man.
Let me ask you this.
Okay.
What do you look like? How do you view this when you look over to the other side of I-55 or up north in northeast Mississippi and the central part and Olive Branch and Marshall County and places like that, and you see these Amazons and Googles coming there? What can you do?
Right.
What can the Delta do you've got to have the infrastructure. You've got to have the manpower. You've got to have the people coming out of the schools there that are able to do this. So what are you guys doing now? You've been in term. This will be your second term.
It's my second term.
Where are you? What are you doing to get that done?
Here's what's great. I don't want to give away the secret sauce, okay? I think it's important that if other municipalities would like to see what Clarksdale is doing and how did we do 300 new jobs in basically less than 3 years, and how were we ranked in the Mississippi Delta, the entire Delta, we made up over 25% of all new jobs in the city of Clarksdale. Now, if people would like for us to share that structure, that formula, we're more than happy to do tutorials. But I can tell you this. Leadership is really important. We have now put in place this gentleman by the name of John Livingston as the chamber director. And I know you're familiar with John. Yeah. He was heavy in politics, maybe 15 years ago. But we've settled in to a formula that actually works, that is used by best practices. So we became really aggressive. So I can give you one example. But again, if we, this segment would take maybe an hour and a half to kind of really talk about it. But here's an example. We are now one of the leading tech hubs in the nation right in Clarksdale. When Mississippi, just some years ago when I was at the state capitol, we didn't believe that we could go for tech jobs. We just didn't believe it in the state. So we geared more towards Yokohama, Toyota, things like that. And that's beautiful to have 3,000 jobs. But in the city of Clarksdale, we were able to attract a Silicon Valley-based company to come to Clarksdale, and it's called People Chores. So far, the employment is great.
How many people are employed
so
far?
Over 250 jobs, and they're getting ready to expand, and they're looking
What do they do? What's
so
their
let's say basically they data crunching.
Is that the call center there?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Data crunching, call center. But again, that technology you would think does not exist in the Delta. And guess what?
Well, I understand that.
Here we are.
Would you call a call center Silicon Valley, though?
Well, it's a Silicon Valley-based company, and they do more than that. Now, they crunch data for different companies and companies in Mississippi and all across the United States. So they're actually doing data entry and making sure that they port information out of the Delta to get back to represent companies. And we're not talking about small companies. We're talking about some of the big boys out there.
How have you addressed the crime rate there as far as your police force?
Absolutely. Again, Paul, I know you remember when we launched 2 years ago that Second Chance program when I was on NBC.
We had your police chief in here with us.
Absolutely.
She's still there?
Guess what? She just retired.
Did she?
She was the visionary person for the city police department. So we've captured the vision of what we needed to see, but it just doesn't lie there. It goes back to community policing, and we had something that was very controversial. You remember when we actually had people to come in that needed assistance. And so some of these people, their quality of life was not found in Clarksdale. They couldn't find a job or their skill set. And so we ported them out to California, Atlanta, and they are now prospering. So for the group of people that actually stayed and had no avenues, guess what we did? We partnered with Coahoma Community College. We reskill those people with soft and hard skills, and now they're employable, and they're now having an educational opportunity that never would exist. So these people turn from the criminal element, and now they're productive citizens in the city of Clarksdale. So that contributes to the crime rate dropping in such a way that it's at a historic low. We're very proud, but Paul, I want to share this. We have shared in the city of Chicago. They're looking at our white paper. They're implementing the city of Clarksdale's white paper on crime in precincts in Chicago. So if any cities are struggling, and I know a lot of my Delta cities are really struggling, and they've been asking my police chief, how did you do it? We have a clear white paper on it, but you have to have a police chief that believes in reform.
Do you have still a gang problem there? We still have a situation where I read a story not too long ago, some guns apparently coming from the Clarksdale area into Chicago. Again, this was a couple of months ago. But you think that's better under control than it was, let's say, last year?
Absolutely. If you look at different cities, and you can just survey, now I don't want to talk about other cities in the Delta, but crime is sky high in certain cities. People are really fearing for their lives, and I'm not going to name those cities.
Increasing the police force, increasing the patrols, stop and search. Are you doing roadblocks? How are you doing that?
Let me tell you a major variable, the key to. Okay, here are two key ones. When police officers begin to do community policing, and they truthfully do it, it's on a schedule, and they get out there and the constituents start to know their names, and guess what officers start to do? They start to engage the criminal element and ask them to turn away.
The old cop on the beat.
There you go.
Where we need to get back to.
Cops on the beat. But here's the last one. The great one is that we implemented a program, Amanda Jones, in the Second Chance program, and she brings those type of individuals to the table and say, we care about you, and we're going to help you get educated.
If the legislature passes a bill and it says these cities have the chance to opt out of medical marijuana, would you opt out or stay in?
Paul, I'm just going to tell you this. I'm just going to say this. Medical marijuana and minor marijuana offenses should not be on the books in the state of Mississippi. You can't go after criminals. There's so many people
So
from
you
coast
are
to
saying
coast.
basically that pot shops would be welcome in the city?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Final segment. One and only mayor of the city of Clarksdale, Chuck Espy. Before that, the times we were sharing was with another mayor named Espy, and that was Henry.
Yes, sir.
One of our first campaigns that I'll never forget was with your dad. And it was just absolutely amazing. But those were some great, great times, and cut my teeth as a young guy as far as politics are concerned.
Yeah, Dad is still hanging in there. He's right in Clarksdale. He's in the thick of things, and I'm just very proud that I can have counsel like that.
Yeah.
To talk to a former mayor. That's my father, and he gives me great counsel.
We one of the first trips we took, we all got in a vehicle along with Jonas, who was the mayor at that particular time.
Right.
Came to meet with Governor Waller. And that was I got some stories on that one, but I can't tell them on the air.
Now you're talking a little bit before my time.
Oh, it was before your time. It was before your time. So I understand, and your dad will understand. You weren't wet in your pants, but you were a young man.
I don't even think I was there yet.
I don't even know. Anyway, you're dating me, but that's fine. Are you guys back to normal as far as COVID is concerned?
Well, the great part about that is we had a very first test case in April, and we tested the waters. We had the Juke Joint Festival. Was successful. So many people attended. Ground Zero is back. Bill Luckett, they're doing their thing. We're very proud of what's happening.
It was shut down for a while, wasn't it?
Absolutely, and they're back open. And man, it's beautiful what's happening in Clarksdale.
You and Bill on speaking terms?
Yeah, I've seen. He had some. I don't want to speak too openly about. He's recently had some health issues, and we're just really proud that he's back. And he's back up to speed, and we're thankful for that.
Somebody told me that Morgan has got a movie maybe I think he's going to be in. Well, there's one in Natchez, and I think we just had one completed. Bruce Willis was in Jackson doing his movie here, and I guess that's a wrap. So is Morgan got one coming up for the Delta?
Well, let's just say this. I don't know as mayor, by the time I drive back to Clarksdale, it's going to take me about 2.5 hours to get there.
Yeah.
I don't want to let the cat out the bag, but, something's going on special with Morgan Freeman in Clarksdale in the next couple of weeks.
I think you just did. You gave us everything but the name of the movie.
That's right. Well, I don't want Bill Luckett and Morgan Freeman to, they'll.
Now you're in trouble. Yeah, you drove all the way here to get in trouble. Thank you. Did you get any stimulus money?
Yes, the city received slightly under $4 million. It'll be put to good use. We're actually is helping to stabilize the city, and we were very thankful. Our revenue started to go up some time ago, and like other cities, we're thinking heavily about how to use those funds, and I'm thankful for Tate Reeves and his assistance to the city of Clarksdale. So we're working really well with government right now.
Well, we don't know how much the infrastructure package is going to be for the state of Mississippi. Some people think we're overestimating and hoping to get more than we probably going to get. But you should look at the revenues, and I've got the new numbers just sent to me this morning. I haven't had a chance to take a look at them.
Okay.
But I think we're over $900 million over estimate as far as the state budget right now.
I remember some days sitting in that Capitol. It was some tough days.
Yeah.
And but now, listen, you have the right leadership in place. You have the right governor. You have the right speaker and lieutenant governor.
I want to ask you this.
Yeah, so we're doing well.
Did you see the Tunica wind farm?
Absolutely.
Now that's 13,000 acres. How many acres was that? 1,300.
I don't know the acres.
1,300 acres.
I think it's right on time, and I think that it could prove.
Where are you going to get? Where are you guys importing the wind?
That's funny. Off the Mississippi River.
Yeah, but there are times in the Mississippi Delta on a hot summer day. You can't blow a feather off a ball man's head.
Well, if you've been to Tunica lately, it's quite windy. If you pass through and go out there by the river, just check it out sometimes. Very interesting. But you just made me think about the other one. The big festival is coming up on August the 13th. I want people to know the Sunflower River Festival. It's going to be a really nice event. If it's anything close to the Juke Joint Festival, it's just really time to get back out there. I just encourage everyone to be safe. Look, I walk around with a miniature bottle of alcohol in my pocket, and it's really it's like what I keep, and as long as I just stay 6 feet.
You need to explain that.
Yeah, it's a little mini.
No, the miniature bottle of alcohol. You really need to explain that. Did you get tourism status?
Well, it's just not that little.
You were turning this into New Orleans, where you can just take your alcohol on the streets. Is that what you're saying?
Paul, you know what? We're going to always have a good time together, my friend.
He's talking about sanitizer.
That's right, hand sanitizer. But listen, it's a great time in the Delta. I hope everyone could come out in August. Yeah. But we're getting back to normal, but I just encourage everyone to stay safe. Paul, it's been great.
I will say this, for folks who have been going to New Orleans, and we were talking about the crime rate yesterday on the air extensively, that it's just gotten out of control. Tour the state of Mississippi. Go up to Clarksdale. There's so many places to see, and as they stop, certainly if you or your children have never been to the Mississippi Delta, a lot of people have not, even in our state.
Paul, I know we're getting ready to end, but
you got 10 seconds.
I want you to do me one big favor, and everyone in the listening SuperTalk audience, please say a little prayer for the people in the Delta as we head back to just make sure that people are safe in their homes with the rivers rising.
Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate it. The news is coming up next.